Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I play the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. The campaign is Spawn of Azathoth. It was written by Doc Herber, and our game master is John Hook. This is episode 24. So without any further delay, let's continue our journey into the darkness. John?
All right. So when we last left off, you guys were in the Admin Islands, and you rescued your compatriots from the Chocho Island. You found that boat, that small boat. Well, you had that outrigger. You guys got in, and so you're floating your way back downstream to get back to Port Blair. And you guys had you had discovered, although a little late, but you discovered a box of really old hand grenades, which by the time you get back to Port Blair, because you ended up having to sleep on the boat to finally get down there, you've noticed that some of these hand grenades are they have a glisten on them that's not morning dew. So they seem to be sweating, like maybe they're unstable. But
didn't we leave the hand grenades?
I think you had them with you, but
I think we decided to chuck them over the edge because
chuck them over the edge. Perfect. All right. Yeah.
They were dangerous.
So they were pretty dangerous. So over the edge they went. You guys made it back to Port Blair, and then from there, you have gotten back to Calcutta in order to rest and recuperate and just kind of take some well-deserved time off, heal some injuries, maybe kind of let your mind calm down a little bit. So in that time period, I believe we've been gone for a little while. Have all the players had an opportunity to roll their ticks?
Yes.
Did we have any notable advancements?
I got 7 points of dodge.
Oh, that's fantastic. Anybody else? Anybody else do well? No?
I failed every single check except one, which I rolled a 10 for, and that was my spot hidden. So I was very happy.
That's awesome. That's very excellent. Very good.
I don't think I went up on anything.
All right.
I got a few points here and there. The one I was hopeful for, it should not have passed. I got an 11 for it, so nothing.
Well, I will also say this: for defeating the creature known as Barnabas to you from the Dreamlands and discovering that he was the Chocho shaman, for defeating him, everyone can gain a D10 insanity. For rescuing your compatriots, of which there were 3 compatriots, everyone gain 2d6 sanity collectively. For all 3 of them together will be a 2d6 bonus. But unfortunately, since we lost Sikander and Mabud, collectively for them, everyone lose 1d4.
I gain nothing now because I got 1 on the 10, 1 on 1d6, 1 on 1d6, and then 4 on the 1d4. So I lost one.
The odds were in your favor, and yet you still lost. Oh,
I got 5
Augustine.
from the D10. I got 8 from the 2D6, and I lost 2 from the D4.
See, that's the bell curve I was looking for.
I gained 16 points. And my sanity is such that I can only gain 5 points before I'm maxed out.
Yes, I would have gotten 13, but I am far too mad for that.
Yeah.
I know things that no human should know.
I've got 34 in Cthulhu Mythos. That's so.
38.
Yeah.
Managed to get my sanity back to 57.
I'm
I
at
think if I
mythos for this?
Say that again.
Did we gain any mythos for this? I feel like the kid asking if we
seeing the
have any
Spider
homework.
Woman?
I'm sorry, but
for
Oh
seeing the
yeah,
Spider
you know,
Woman.
for seeing the Spider Woman, everyone gained a D. Everyone gained 5 points of sanity for seeing that, or 5 mythos. Everyone gained 5 Cthulhu mythos for seeing that.
I was feeling good at myself at 71 sanity and 3 Cthulhu mythos, but somebody wants me to learn more forbidden secrets.
I killed her.
Yes, you did.
And gaining
Bastard.
the 5 mythos means our sand cap drops by 5, right?
It does.
That's right.
Oh, no. That's not good.
Well, I'm permanently on the edge.
Oh, that's funny. Okay. Well,
And I'm permanently at that edge with you, just pushing.
So now I'm at 39. What are you at?
I actually still have 57. But no, I mean at mythos. No, I'm up to 43 mythos.
43.
Wow,
mythos?
awesome.
Yeah, so my maximum sanity. I actually gained sanity for the things we got right. Lost a little bit for the fellows, but then now that I've gained more mythos, I end up a little bit madder than we got here to Bombay. Cheers.
Excellent.
We get any luck back?
Yes. So you guys make your way back to Calcutta for this rest and recuperation. And there's a solid 2 weeks where you guys are able to just chill. I assume during that 2-week period, you've been communicating back to Providence to kind of let your home base know where you're at in case anybody needs to reach you. In that 2-week period, everyone, if you are injured, everyone can gain, even without seeking extravagant medical treatment, just kind of, self-care and all that kind of stuff. Everyone can gain D4 +1 hit points. And then as far as luck is concerned, everyone can gain 2d6 luck.
Whopping 4 points. Yay! It's better than nothing.
In those 2 weeks, besides the things that I've already noted as far as communicating back to Providence, does anyone have anything that they wanted to do academically? Kind of get caught up on some reading or anything like that? Anything of note?
I feel a little behind on the
Book of
the
Ibon.
esoteric material. Yeah, I haven't looked at the Book of Ibon yet myself. Okay. So I'll do that.
So you want to be reading Ibon. Awesome.
Join us. Join us.
I was thrilled with the ability of the Wither. So I want to keep studying that so I can just utter those words even faster.
All right. So you're just kind of boning up on those passages. You're not actually casting it to practice, are you?
No. I'm just
on hotel cats or anything like that.
No hotel cats have gone missing. My cat earlier today, though. Anyway.
How much longer is that letter opener of yours charged, do you think?
Oh, it's that was just charged. That was gone within 24 hours.
That was it. Yeah, I knew you killed a small thing. I remember what you got for it.
That would be the other one that I'd be studying. The two useful ones. I have no intention of creating gates or summonings. I'm starting to really believe in this, and I want to steer clear of that nonsense.
I think that I'm going to consult anything I can find on Hindu astrological charts and things like that to see if I can find references to this occasional star that shows up.
Sure, absolutely. Dr. Long, why don't you give me a English roll, please?
Well, it seems my stint on the islands has rattled me quite a bit because that's a 99 against my 80.
All right. So it has, the stint on the island has rattled you and it's delayed the amount of information that you can get from this, which could be to your favor. So I want you to, after doing the reading that you've done in 2 weeks, lose 1d4 sand, gain 2 Cthulhu Mythos.
I just lost 4 sanity. It's just reinforced what I've experienced, and
it does reinforce what you've been experiencing. Roll a d10 for me, if you would, please.
2.
So as you were going through the book, it was one of those things where you kind of like got into a certain section of the book and you kind of got fixated on it and it captured your interest. And so in that time period, you really only read this one little section, and it has qualities of a poem or a prayer. It's it was very interesting to you in that fashion, and it the title of which is contact servant of Zathaqua, with a Z, Zathaqua. Contact servant of Zathaqua. And you feel confident that if you were to incant this poem, as you seem to have been learning, that it may be possible, with all the things that you've been discovering and learning about the true world that we live in, you may be able to contact this spawn of Zathaqua. If you so desired.
That's I'm not sure I'm ready to take that step, but
it was something that captured your interest, though.
Cornelius, there are 2 things. First of all, the last time I saw Long, I couldn't understand a word he said. It was though he'd forgotten English. Do you think he's had some sort of stroke or is suffering an aphasia?
Oh my, that's very concerning.
He just was babbling incomprehensibly. Only in English, though. His Latin was fine. It was very curious. It was as though he'd forgotten 99% of the words that he knew. I mean, it seemed to pass.
Must be this heat. Maybe he's dehydrated, just going and getting a little delirious.
It's terribly hot in India right now. Edith, was there anything that you wanted to do during this 2-week period?
Actually, yes. I want to speak with Cornelius privately. Mr. Cuthbert.
Oh, Edith.
You're friends with Dr. Augustine, right?
Yes. Yeah, I've
known him a long time?
For quite a while.
I'm very concerned about what we saw on the island that night. Is that normal for him?
Not as long as I've known him. I did see that he had some, it looked like some incisions in his back, which I really encouraged him to get looked at medically. But I'm not sure what has come of this. With recent events coming to light, I don't know really what to say or make of it.
How well do you know him? I've only just met him, and after seeing all of these horrific things we've seen in the last few months, I'm a little fearful of him.
Well, we've gone back quite a ways. I can vouch for him. He's a good man. And
I saw what those things did to that cut on your arm.
Well, that was
disturbing.
Unnerving, to say the least. I'm not sure what's going on, but I really would afford him the benefit of the doubt. He needs medical attention, which I'm strongly encouraging in him. But he has great intent, and he's never been a harmful person in any way, shape, or form in the past. He hasn't betrayed us. It's not like
that is true. That is true.
But
I
you
suppose
are right.
He would have had opportunity on the island if he'd wanted it.
Yeah.
But all right, very well.
I just don't know of a good hospital. I don't know where we would take him here. If there would be a good institution we could have this looked at, we could visit that with him or have a conversation with him.
Dr. Saladin, he's not a medical doctor, is he?
Not that I'm aware of.
I never got that sense that he was a medical practitioner. Very well. It's strange.
I will talk to August Arlo again and encourage him to seek more help as opposed to just to ignore this.
Very well. All right. Thank you. This was put my mind at ease a little bit. Thank you. If you trust him,
I do.
Then I will give him the benefit of the doubt.
He is a good man.
Dr. Augustine, give me a SAN roll, please, and tell me how you do. Pass or fail.
That is a fail.
So during this 2-week period, you have been feeling you describe it as a hunger. You've been feeling a hunger that food and drink was not satiating. And so on a few occasions during this 2-week period, you have found opportunities to slip away and make your way to some of the back alleys behind the hotel, where there are plenty of street cats, homeless cats. And so discreetly, you've gone into these back alleys and unbuttoned your shirt down to your navel. And with no one around, you've been able to open your shirt and have several tentacles come out, latch onto these cats, and just start draining them of their fluids until they're just a husk. And that really kind of tops you off and makes you feel good. So I would like to give you 5 points of sanity and 5 points of luck for doing this. So you can have that as a reward for for satisfying your hunger.
Oh God!
And if you decide to choose to feed more often, I'll give you more.
I have a plan for that.
Okay. Dr. Saladin, during your 2 weeks, you wanted to, from what I heard so far, wanted to kind of look for books about astronomy.
Information, yeah.
Astronomy information. And you know, in this area of the world, it'll be India subcontinent focused kind of astronomy, certainly, you know. You are successful in finding some of these books. But give me a luck roll anyways, please.
You can no longer read close up. That is a pass by 2 points.
A pass by 2 points. I like it. In your search for some of these books on astronomy, there are some that you have found, and there were some that were not available because you were checking things like public libraries and stuff like that. Not solely, but your search included public libraries. And you came across something very interesting. There was a book of astronomy that is not available to you from the library, but when you were checking the records, you noticed a familiar name, which I need to find just to be. You notice a name of Francis Wilson within a couple of months ago. Has it been this long? We'll say within a month ago. Francis Wilson has been in Calcutta and checked out a book of astronomy.
Okay. I should kind of be able to tell like when he returned it as well, maybe based on the inside of the cover. Maybe just when he checked it out.
Yeah, there were several books that you wanted to try and get, and there was one book that was not available because it's been checked out by according to other records
at
the library.
It's still checked out.
It's still checked out. It's still gone. And so the last person who checked it out was a Mr. Francis Wilson.
And can I tell when he checked it out?
A month ago.
And he hasn't returned it. He's going to have a fine. All right. In addition to this, I want to see if I could find any sort of related information on spider deities of this area, the Hindus.
All right. Give me a library use roll, please.
That's a 7.
Well, yes, you find information that talks about a mythical plateau here in Asia, an Asian plateau, somewhere north of the Himalayas, that people call the Plateau of Lang. And that there are supposedly a race of spiders or a spider cult in that Plateau of Lang.
Okay. And any reference to, we got the name Atacnacha, didn't we, from the islands?
You got that from the Chocho Island. Cynthia had become the daughter of Atacnacha.
Right. Okay. All right. So that's what I've been doing.
Okay. And so with your research, go ahead and gain 2% in astronomy.
Okay.
And 1% in Cthulhu Mythos.
Keeper.
Yes.
Question. Does Cornelius have an idea of what that gate form, doorway, create gate goes to? Is there an idea of what that would do, or is it just sort of very vague?
Yeah, part of that prayer is there's a portion to it where you're infusing a destination yourself, where you kind of like come up with a destination and then kind of infuse of yourself of it. And if you've done it correctly, pardon me, you are either right on the mark or very close to that destination. The prayer talks about there are hazards if you are not able to infuse yourself correctly for it. But, it's worth the risk, right?
Oh, sure. Well, that sounds worth studying. So I will give that focus as well, if possible.
Sounds good. Pardon me, I'm dying. Goodness. All right. Dr. Baxter. Was there anything that you wanted to focus on during these 2 weeks?
I mean, the first thing is that when we got back to Port Blair, of course, I have to speak to the commander there and tell him that my daughter is no longer, that her mission is no longer, and that he has to consider the natives up where she was operating to be hostile, possibly under the influence of the island known to be east of there, which will not surprise him, the latter part probably. And then I'm going to try to get him to give me some kind of death certificate, because I need to be able to telegraph the States and Cynthia's legal existence before some spider shows up there and turns into a facsimile of my daughter and runs rampant. So there's legal business with the bank, and luckily I have lawyers and things, so even from a distance should be able to affect some of that.
Absolutely.
Other than
and Major Nichols is able to initiate, he loses men under his command, and so they have similar paperwork, and so he's able to initiate that paperwork and help telegraph that off to the proper authorities. So it'll route through London and then get back to the States, but he assures you that the paperwork has been started, and he appreciates the update on the mission.
Yeah, and I'm going to also arrange for a small annuity for the families of Sikander and Labur, since I feel responsible for their passing. Yeah, and then so business like that back on the mainland, and the thing that I, in addition to recovering to the best of my ability from that shock, I'm going to, I guess, also asking my lawyers via telegraph back in Providence. I want to find out. It was something in my Philip Baxter's will that sent Francis Wilson running from my memorial service and traveling on short notice overseas. Wondering if I could get any information or documentation about what he was left, what I left him. I guess, right. No, I can't. Right. Myron Dexter can't ask about Philip Baxter's will. Never mind that. Yeah, I'd love to trace Wilson's movements after Baxter's death. I'll think on that. On my private time, when we're not drinking cordials on the veranda, I'm curious about forming a scrying glass. Had I been able to see the Andaman Islands beforehand, we could have spared ourselves a lot of grief and danger. So I assume that I can get a silvered glass.
Absolutely.
And it seems from the age of the text of Iboden that all the ingredients should be available in a pre-modern metropolis.
Oh yeah. Especially in the Calcutta markets, you can get a beautiful silvered handheld mirror and turn that into a scrying glass. So you're going to spend time infusing this with energy to do a scrying glass?
Yes.
Okay.
And experimenting with that on, a location probably in Providence that I would recognize whether I was accurate and what it took out of me physically and emotionally and so on. So that I know what to expect.
You remember what the name of that spell is?
Well, I was told that it was form scrying glass.
Form scrying glass. Let me see if I have it as form scrying glass. Mm-hmm. Do you remember what book that came from?
I suspect it was Ibon, but we have had a couple of texts. Let's see. It was 19 when we were all on the steamer on our way to Trouble.
Goodness. Let me double check and see if I have this on PDF so I can just kind of zip through it. Excuse me.
It couldn't be. I'm just looking at the Keeper's Guide, and there's one mirror listed there.
Okay.
Also in the Keeper's, there create scrying window.
Oh, all right. That it.
Sounds good.
That's it. Where is it? Create scrying window. I apologize for my coughing. Create barrier. Well, I'll go back to this one. Create scrying window. Here we go. Found it. All right. Oh my. Okay. All right. You're going to be making a smaller version, so it will take fewer magic points and fewer POW to do this. All right. So in the 2 weeks, so you're going to focus on this for the 2 weeks?
Yes.
Okay. You will regain you pretty much regain all your magic points overnight, right?
Mm.
So over the course of 2 weeks, assuming that you replenish all of your magic points with a full night's rest, in 2 weeks, would you have the ability to invest 40 magic points?
Sure. I mean, I my base is 17, so I could comfortably spend 10 a day and not fall apart.
Okay. Good. All right. So I'm going to need you to also invest, and this could be a big hit for you, but 15 points of POW.
Okay. Better use it.
And roll a D3 and lose that much sand.
I laugh at that. I laugh at that all night long, and they can hear me through the walls.
Exactly. So
I only 2 right in the middle. So back I'm down to 55. I'm still more than half sane.
All right. So you have a handheld silver looking glass that is now a scrying mirror. So you do know that in order to use this mirror, it will cost you a D3 SAN per session. It will also cost you double checking here. Oh, this was interesting. So part of the process of creating this mirror is you started by breaking the glass. So you smashed this glass, and all the silvered glass fell out of the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
You then, it was a painstaking process, but you then reassembled the mirror, putting all the broken shards back in, and you were infusing, essence of yourself into each piece as you reassembled this glass. And so now that it's all put back together, when it's not in use, it just looks like a spider web broken looking glass, where you see hundreds of reflections in yourself in each little broken chunk. But then when it comes time to use it, you will, so when you're going to actually do the scrying, it's 1d3 sand, and it's 1 magic point per 5 minutes of concentration, and it is distance. It's based on distance as well. So if you want to look a really long distance, it would be more magic points. But for 1 magic point, you've got a pretty good radius for 1 magic point. Thinking about it on a global scale.
So if I wanted to see inside the surveyor's office from across the street in the hotel, it would be pretty simple. If I wanted to check back to Providence, it would be a longer and more costly experience.
And if you wanted to So this is a very multifunction tool. So with your D3 SAN and variable amount of magic points, you can use it to look across the globe in real time. And it would be fewer magic points to view a location that you're intimately familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
You've been there a couple of times. You can remember what the layout was. But if you're trying to scry to a location that you've never been to, but you've read about it maybe in a book or in a travel log or on a map, it would take a few extra magic points to try and look at a place like that in real time. But you also have the ability to look both
people.
Huh?
I was wondering if I could look for a person if I didn't know their whereabouts.
You could do that as well. You could focus on a person. Again, more magic points because it's more vague. You don't know where where your scry will take you. But also, you are not limited to real time. You can look into the future and into the past of that location or of that person. But looking in either back or forward in time is going to be more expensive, magic point wise, and could be more costly sanity wise. Plus, you don't know what you might see, which could also in itself have a different sanity effect.
Also, I realized that now that I've given up 15 power points, is that a permanent thing or is that something I'm going to gradually recover from? They're gone.
That's gone. It's permanent.
So that also means I assume my magic point now are only 14 instead of 17.
Yeah, go ahead and reassess your daily magic points, please.
Yeah, that's the change down to 14. I mean, starting at 85, that wasn't a completely insane thing to do. Anywhere under 75 seems like a real diminishment.
You also get a sense. I mean, you really infused a lot of yourself into this.
Yeah, this is a very precious object.
It's a precious object. You've also been noticing, like, if it's been in your room and you were elsewhere, and maybe a draft came into your room and a cool breeze brushed across the scrying glass, you felt a chill up your spine. You've got a real tangible connection to this. You even fear that if something was to happen to it, like it was destroyed in some manner, that there could be a backlash and you would actually feel and suffer from that destruction.
This is a good town to have a nice leather and velvet case made that fits it just so. And of course, I'll take the manufacturer an identical mirror, not my mirror, to have it fit. Yeah, all right.
Nice.
No more raft rides for me.
Ooh, that was very cool. I liked what you did there. That was very neat. Did I miss anybody? Did anybody else have anything that they wanted to talk about or do?
I did.
Oh, tell me, Dr. Augustine.
Well, on top of my bloodthirsty nature as is going on, I was also planning on, when I'm not feasting on cats in the dark alleys, as you do, I was going to try and see if I could learn to control these a bit better than just try to become his aim's not to lose himself to the tentacles, but he wants to become one with them almost. So
all right, give me a power roll, and I'm looking for a hard success. So you may want to consider maybe investing some luck.
Well, a 12.
Oh,
it's very good.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Yeah, it almost seems like since you have kind of accepted it a little bit and given in to some of those temptations, it has gotten easier to control them. Okay. You feel like that you could do some fine dexterity motor skills with them.
Okay. Yeah, that's my aim over the time. I want to become a bit more comfortable with them as I'm stuck with them now. Because I also want to be able to try and call them back eventually, because I don't want them just to linger out when I don't want them to be there.
Uh-huh.
But, not everything works out the way you want it to.
Not everything.
Probably closer to the 2-week mark as well. I will have a chat with Cuthbert, because I know he'll probably, it works out both ways, because he wants to have a conversation with me at some point. So
yeah. And so Cornelius, you're interested in maybe trying to create a bridge to Providence?
Oh, definitely. If I can, my goal would be to try to find some way to create a portal gate door to my office at Brown University's librarian office.
Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. Where would you want to establish this gate?
I have no idea how it would work. So upon reading further into this, is this something that would be an item that would generate this, or is this a specific physical location that it would have to be built around?
So upon your investigation into this, as you review IBON, it is something that you normally it's a portal, and so normally it is within some kind of structure that has a framework, be it a door frame or a window frame or a portal of some type. Like, for example, not that you have to do this, but your hotel room has a wardrobe.
Okay.
And so you could, it has doors, it has a framework. You could enchant the wardrobe, right? And it would do double duty, right? So if you're not, triggering it with magic points after it's constructed, assuming it is successfully constructed, if you're not triggering it with magic points and sanity, you open up the armoire doors and it's an armoire. Your clothing is there and all that stuff. But doors are shut and you are infusing of yourself into it and murmuring, saying that prayer. You open up the doors and suddenly your armoire, the contents are not there. You actually see, if it works right, you would see your office at Brown University. You could step through the armoire and there would be some other, creation of the gate. It's a complete item. So not only are you setting it up here, but your target location will also get these doors, and you create this permanent bridge that you can access, right? So
permanent. I probably not in this hotel room. I need to give a good think about this and discuss.
Well, all right then.
Thank you.
So think about it wherever you would like to set up this bridge from here to there.
Okay.
So, was there anything else? Anybody else wanted to touch on anything in these 2 weeks? Cornelius, if you're thinking about it, are we safe to assume that you're not going to enchant the armoire of your hotel room?
How long does the process take? Is this something that I could do within like an hour or two, or is this like something that would need days to perform? If it's,
and is it something you can undo?
Yeah, I'm thinking if it's something I could do in an hour or two or three, then I'll sort of look for a better location later.
So you have options. So you could, similar to how, even though you don't know this has happened, my assumption, even though we talked about it openly, my assumption is that unless Dr. Baxter tells anybody, nobody really knows that he's created a scrying glass. But metagame wise, similar to how he has invested a large amount of magic points over a prolonged period of time and a large amount of permanent POW points, he has a permanent object. You could do the same thing. You could have a permanent object that is this bridge, or you could do in the short term, you could cast a spell and have the bridge work just the one time. And then it's gone, which would have a far less expenditure of sanity, but you're not creating an artifact like he did.
Yeah.
So you could, in this 2-week period, you could experiment and try and do a gate and go to Providence during this 2-week period.
Okay, I would like to try that then.
All right.
Just to make sure in case we get, because I know for a fact that we've run into some horrible things and want to know if push comes to shove, if we can escape. If
Go home without paying our bill.
Yeah, we could sneak out without paying the bill. Yes, that's what this is for.
All right. So halfway around the world is a pretty good distance, right?
Oh, this is time or a distance cost?
It is a distance cost. So if you want to try and do, and how long would you want this gate to be available to you? So it'll be like a haze. You know, if you were outside on a hot day, you see that haze raising up, you know, of hot air coming off the asphalt. You can create within a framed portal, like a doorway or the armoire doors or something like that. You could create this wavy haze of air for a certain length of time so that you can come back and forth. And then after that, so would you want it to last? It's on a per hour basis. So 1 hour, 2 hour.
Just 1 hour. It would be for everyone to get the hell out of Dodge.
Sure. Okay. All right. So for 1 hour to go halfway around the world, okay, why don't you, and you're not creating a permanent thing. This is just a temporary. So because it's temporary, this will also be a temporary expenditure of POW. This is POW that you will get back on a 1 point per day basis. And how at what point of your 14 days in Calcutta, on day what are you doing this spell?
It would probably be a few days into it because I was studying other stuff. So we'll say 4 days in of the 14 days.
4 days in. All right. So you'll have a 10-day recovery period when we get started in the game proper. All right, great. So go ahead and you'll lose 15 POW, but you're going to get 10 of that back. So net lose 5 POW. Okay. And you've got 5 more POW. When we finally get the game rolling in this chapter, you'll have 5 more POW that you'll recover on a 1 per day basis. Right.
Yeah. Okay.
But also on that 4th day in Calcutta, I want you to lose. You don't have to make this because you've already regained it, but you would have lost 5 magic points on the day that you did that on the day you cast a spell.
Got it.
Or the day you attempted to cast a spell, because what I want you to do is after you spent, so temporarily, what would have been your new POW after you lost the 15 POW on that day 4?
60. Well, I had 70. So down 15 would bring me to 55.
Okay. So on that day 4, when your POW was a 55, make a POW roll to see if this was a successful cast.
Ooh, darn. Wow. So it's only a 55% chance. That's, oh no. Oh, that's so bad. It's 100. I rolled 100. Did I just, oh God.
Okay. All right. So there was a fatal flaw in the way that you did this. So as you were casting this, there was some kind of backlash, some kind of force backlash. So you are permanently reducing your POW by 5.
Oh.
Lose 1d3 sand.
Oh, geez. 2.
Okay. And age your character by 20 years.
Oh my God.
And go ahead and look at character creation and find out what kind of adjustments that you need to make for being aged by 20 years.
Yeah. Okay.
Although you won't be making education improvement rolls.
Got it. Okay. There we go. All right. So we won't be messing with this. Oh, guys.
What's your new age?
I'm 60 now.
Yeah, that was a really bad backlash.
Yeah, I don't think this is a good idea to try this, guys.
Magic is not a good thing to fiddle with.
I think you are right. Maybe we should just carry on from here.
Lost 20 years of your life.
Oh my God. Look at me. My God.
Deep, dark lines on your face. Your hair is longer and gray and real scraggly. Oh, and there was a lot of lost weight from it.
I passed my sanity roll for saying Cuthbert suddenly aged 20 years.
Oh, you know what? That's a fantastic idea. How about everybody make a sand roll for seeing Cuthbert aged 20 years?
Maybe you and Holly should sit in the front row by yourselves every other Sunday.
Teacher.
I didn't pass. How could I?
You can have a TTK where we all die of old age prematurely.
The chain reaction of sudden aging.
So, and did the gate fail?
Yes, the gate did not work. It did not open.
Oh, I'm not messing with that again. That's terrible. God, look at me.
Oh, what are the chances of you getting 200s in a row?
Although Cornelius, even though this one didn't work, you still feel like the science is sound and that if you felt like it, you could try again. But
what's the sanity loss, John?
Oh, if you fail your sand roll, lose a D3. If you make it, lose nothing.
I lost 2.
Me too.
you could risk opening a time gate and going back 2 hours and warning yourself not to do it.
I think it does say something about that theory of relativity. There is some relationship between space and time. I think you got that equation wrong too, though.
So since Cuthbert, since you were going to lose 5 points of POW permanently of the 15 that you spent, by the time we initiate this chapter, you would have rehealed all of your available POW that could heal. So there's good news on that.
Holy cow, I didn't realize I'd lose so much. 60 loses 3 move. Oh my God. Almost 60. I'm not that slow, guys. Gracious.
Did you have to make any adjustments to strength, con, and
yeah, 20
dex?
Looks like 20 points spread across 3.
And then 15 from appearance.
Oh, right. Yeah. And appearance.
15.
Tell me about it.
Apparently,
So yes, whatever your move, whatever your move would be, either that 7, 8, or 9 number, it's deducted by 3. So your current one might have already been accounting for your age of 40. So it's not going to be 3 reduced from that. It would be 3 reduced from whatever it would be.
Okay, that makes got it. Okay, I'll have to come back to that. I'll fine tune this. Okay. Oh, I'm not doing that again. Oh my God, guys, what have I done?
What are the odds you would roll another 100?
More tea, more green tea.
Maybe we'll get lucky and find a spell that'll reverse aging.
Right? Maybe.
Oh yes, the brain. Maybe put a little of that in here.
Nice.
Rub some on your arthritis.
Oh, thank you.
Put hair on your chest. Awesome. Well, in the so that was the interim while you guys were spending time recuperating in Calcutta. After 2 weeks of being in Calcutta, there is a knock on Dr. Baxter, although you are being addressed as Myron Dexter, I believe.
Yes.
So there's a knock on Mr. Dexter's door, and a bellhop.
And we've all been back at the King's Hotel. We left some trunks here, and
yes,
so we're all in the same building and everything. Yeah,
yes,
right.
Yeah.
So come in.
So a bellhop says, "Mr. Dexter, a telegraph has been forwarded to you. Here you are." And he hands you a telegraph.
I hope he handed me a telegram. Telegraphs are heavy.
A telegram. Hands you a telegram. You're right. And
rupees for the boy.
Oh, thank you, sir. And then he gives you the telegram and runs off.
I'm aware of your activities. Re Azathoth. Stop. Have information of great value. Stop. Need help. Stop. Leave immediately for Darjeeling, India. Stop. He could have saved himself a nickel leaving India out. Meet Colonel Hugh Huntley of British Foreign Office. Stop. Have faith. Stop. Francis Wilson. Well, I'm going to ring for a boy and see how many of the fellows are in the hotel at the moment. What hour of the day is it?
10 a.m.
So I should catch everyone. Just a note to to each of you saying, had a telegram. Let's meet. I bet the King's Hotel has more than one lounge with a name.
Sure.
We can meet in the Victoria Lounge.
Yep.
So I will invite everyone.
Can we assume, too, that in the interim I told them about the library book that had been checked out by Francis Wilson?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I guess, metagamically, we can sort of catch each other up in this.
Yeah, go ahead and let's take a quick moment to, obviously, Cornelius's failed magic thing is quite obvious because he wears it on his face. But if there's anything that anybody would want to go ahead and share that we kind of just went through publicly, is that any information that you want the other characters to know, or are you withholding any of that information? Let's go ahead and kind of get that out in the open so that we don't accidentally say something that your character didn't actually know.
I assume that a couple of us will have approached Cornelius about his friend Augustine and the mysterious appendages, and been similarly comforted. But certainly, at some point, if we don't feel like Cornelius has addressed it, we're going to approach Augustine himself. But not necessarily before action is taken. I feel like we have a general idea of recuperation.
Yeah, I won't be telling anyone about my cat-eating tendencies.
All right.
Cuthbert, if I were to ask you in private, as the people who knew that we had read the Most Ibon about your sudden change of appearance, I assume you'd be forthcoming about your experiment?
Oh, yes. This right here, I'll show you exactly what it was. This damned gate. It looks so promising. Ordinarily, I think would be a bunch of hoopla, but from what we've experienced, it seemed like something worth looking at. And in case we got ever stuck in a crazy spot like we did before.
You said that was in the Book of Ibon?
It was in the...
Was that? We had a bit of Vermes, but we had mostly an Ibon translation.
I guess I never got that far.
Yeah, the book has got a lot of stuff in it, and so certain people got fixated on different chapters.
Yeah, the only thing that Cornelius and I both got was something about an entity called Sathagawa or something that I wasn't going to mess with.
Yeah,
having had a bad experience with my last god.
There's something called...
Cornelius, I'll show you.
Oh, I was just saying, I know something called Zathakua from this book.
Oh, yeah. It's
the three of us might see if we can piece that together between us, although I don't know if we'd ever try it.
I'm very leery of touching anything from that book. This seemed like such a great hope for us. And look what it's done to me. God, I could just feel being drained.
Well,
I can't. I don't have it in me to do this again. If this happened to me again, I could die.
Could you show me the passages? I'd like to at least take a look.
Oh, do tread carefully, Zeno. Here. Just here and here.
Ooh. So you want to show him specifically the gate passages?
Yes. I'll point it out. I'm not touching this again. Unless death faces us imminently, I will not try that again.
And I assume you guys maybe had this conversation as far as...
Right after it happened.
Right after it happened. So that actually gives Dr. Saladin time to learn this if he so desires. Do you want to do that?
I do.
Okay. Give me a power roll. Or no, give me a read English roll.
I got, let's see, 38 out of 75.
Okay.
I'll spend the 1 point to make it a hard if that makes any difference.
Absolutely. It will always make it better.
Get a hard.
Okay. So with your hard success, you are really focused on the section that Cornelius showed you. So you will also pick up this create gate spell. Go ahead and lose D3 sand. Gain 3 Cthulhu Mythos.
I lose 2. I'm at my limit. All right.
And
you said 3 Cthulhu Mythos?
Yeah, 3 Cthulhu Mythos. And you have gained the create gate spell.
Okay. Now, when the time comes, I also have the Vorish sign, which says I can do that in addition to the spell in order to magnify or make the spell more powerful.
Yep. Now, it was going to take you the 10 days from when he had his accident to now to learn that spell.
Right. Yeah.
So you don't have an opportunity to cast it yet. But now we've caught up. And so Dr. Baxter has received the telegram and can talk to people about it if he so desires.
Thanks for coming into the tea room, et cetera, et cetera. I knew we had to move on at some point, but I don't know what ideas you all had about what we might do. But I have received from the untrusted but informed word of Francis Wilson that he's aware of our activities, specifically regarding, as he calls it, Azathoth, that he needs help, that we should be hopeful. And there's a Colonel Hugh in Darjeeling that he commends us to.
That's quite a trip. That's all the way across the top of India, isn't it?
It's quite a trip to nearly everywhere from here.
Do you trust him, Dr. Baxter?
Well, it is difficult for me to trust anyone at this point, you'll understand. I know primarily from you that I approached him separately from the rest of you in my will and the materials that were granted in it. So I assume that before whatever happened to me that led me to that dreadful chamber in the Dreamlands, I had reason to trust him. We also know that he preceded us in the Dreamlands. Is that not correct? Didn't he leave a note in a tome in the library that we found?
There were somebody wrote in the margins of a book in Mandarin.
I believe we thought that was Wilson. He was professor of Oriental Studies.
I thought they told us. 1 second.
I could be mistaken. It could have been me. There's nothing like having substantial parts of your top brain eaten out by inhuman things in an alternate universe to make one forgetful.
Long Fu. Somebody named Long Fu made the annotations.
But Zeno, you saw his name here, right?
Oh yes, he had checked out the book on astronomy I was looking for.
And just the fact that he knows where to find us with a telegram, and mentions
the telegram. The telegram was forwarded from Providence.
So
you've been in contact with Providence. Telegram went there, and then it came to you.
Oh, thank God we didn't get it in Providence and have to come all back to this country again.
I wonder if telegrams would indicate when Did it have the location that it was sent? And the time?
Due to it being rerouted, as far as you can tell, it was sent from Providence.
Mm-hmm. So we had access to this Colonel Hugh something in Darjeeling. It's on the sheet. It's a step forward. All we know is that Nemesis is coming, and that we don't know what will trigger Saladin's. And honestly, given what the god did to Myron Dexter on my behalf, I would say it was at best a trickster deity.
It gave us what we asked for. We just didn't realize what we were asking.
Now this telegram mentions an Azathoth.
Yeah, that's similar to other of these names that we've run across. They always seem to be a little different, don't they?
Not sure if any one person knows exactly how to pronounce or say it.
Sounds
valid.
Sumerian or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, there are roots that are parallel to Semitic languages and possibly the Egyptian, but always misspelled probably by medieval scribes.
Maybe it's pronounced Azathoth, like Thoth is pronounced Toth. Or research eventually.
Yes, Courtney.
Go on. I will chat with Arlo in a moment.
Well, as Long said, happier to find such a telegram on this side of the world. It might be a long way to Darjeeling, but nothing compared to the trip back. So certainly worth investigation. And I do like the idea that we'd be speaking to a member of the authorities and not some random witch doctor. No offense,
It's actually 685 kilometers, and it's just straight north. I thought it was all the way across the country. I was thinking of New Delhi.
So probably not a bad train line if we spend a little money. I spend a little bit of his money,
Well, look on the bright side, Cornelius. You can maybe find a better brand of tea to replace that ghastly crane stuff you've been drinking.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of grown on me.
Literally.
It's not that bad. I don't think it has anything to do with...
Yeah, when they said it gets better with age, I don't know this is what they meant.
Dr. Long. True.
Well, we can book the train passage up there.
While you book that, I'd like to speak with you, Arlo, if you have a moment.
Yes, of course, Cuthbert. Of course.
Yeah. Arlo, now, I didn't want to say this around anyone else, but you really need to get that looked at. It's unnatural what's going on there out of your back. Aren't you concerned?
It's fine, Cuthbert.
It's
so fine.
Fine. That doesn't happen with humans. It's Arlo.
Cuthbert.
It's not human. What
Cuthbert,
is it?
My friend, it will all be fine. I have already sorted out some help when I get back. Don't worry.
Well, I do worry about you. You're a good man, Arlo. I don't want to see you get any more hurt, or I don't know if this is growing in you.
Don't worry, Cuthbert. One of my good friends, he's going to meet me at my house, one of my houses when we get back, and he's going to have a look. He is a professional doctor.
Just how long is that going to be, though? may not be back for over a month.
I am fine.
Say so. Does looking at him, does he seem
give me a spot hidden.
Spot hidden? Oh yeah, well, I'm good at that. Boom. That's a hard.
Every time you bring up the subject about his tentacles and how it's unnatural, and I don't know, it seems to me like you're kind of advocating like get rid of them somehow, maybe, right? Every time that comes up, you can see the edges of his shirt underneath. Things are fluttering underneath there in an agitated state.
We'll be fine, Cuthbert.
All right, now. Nice little tentacles.
Cuthbert, my friend. I do also have, on a lighter note, an update on Zebedee.
Oh, good.
I never actually sent him to a psychiatric. He's actually under private care at one of my houses, and he is doing very well. They are looking after him for me.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I mean, for us, obviously.
Please do send my well wishes to him. I'll write him shortly. Just let me know which of your homes to write to. I can write him, drop him a line myself.
Yes.
All right, Arlo.
It's all right, Cuthbert. It'll all be okay. I promise. You're my dear friend. I wouldn't harm you.
So I'll kind of step backwards and out into the other room with everyone else. Oh, hi, everyone. How are those train tickets coming?
So I'm having the fellow Lakshmi at the hotel, who I have grown to trust, look for appropriate hotel in Darjeeling and better train ones. I don't want to have any more of our baggage stolen. I want clear and clean arrangements. And now that we've been in country for a bit, I've ascertained a little something about what this sort of civilization is up for.
Yeah, you guys have spent enough time and spent enough money in Calcutta to kind of buy your way past the petty thieves and stuff, so you've got enough of a reputation and enough time in country that it's no longer profitable for the petty thugs to target you because they've seen that you're sticking around, right? People who stick around can make trouble for them. People who are passing through town, they're easy targets. And so you've spent enough money in the economy and stuff that the petty thugs are kind of, moving away from you and targeting others. So your contacts in the hotel inform you that Darjeeling is pretty much directly north of Calcutta, and it's about a day and a half's train ride, and there are first class tickets available that you could get and ride the train north to Darjeeling. And Darjeeling is a much smaller town, very kind of frontier, if you will. It's located at the foothills of the Himalayas, and yeah, you can take a train, and it should be a fairly safe ride for you.
I trust that we shall never see anything closer to a frontier than the Andaman Islands again in our lives.
Here, here.
So I'll get the name of the hotel and arrange for storage here and baggage there in first class. Do you want, we'll leave tomorrow so we can do whatever we have to do before whatever makes us comfortable.
Okay.
Oh, and if you don't mind to get first class, I'm feeling my muscles, the joints are a bit stiffer now, and I think I need a little bit more comfort. I'm terribly sorry.
Yes, there's a local practice. The yogi do it. I don't remember what it's called, but it's apparently good for loosening up the older joints. I also hope apparently that we'll be able to do something that will counteract what's happened to you. I understand. I don't have the acuity I had 2 weeks ago because of these books.
I just wish I'd never seen them.
Well, again, the withering and the whatever is in Arlo, without them, we might not have escaped that island. We'd all have been eaten by those devils. We were all been eaten by my daughter.
That reminds me of that. Arlo's, I'm a little bit concerned there. I'm not sure what's really going on.
No. I think he means well, but I'm not sure he's in control of whatever is going on. We shall see. We'll be mindful.
Please do.
You don't know of any. He doesn't. It's not something he read in an old book or something. Is it a biological thing?
I've no idea. I was surprised to see it the first time myself.
I wonder if it has to do with that blasted observatory, or if we brought it west. We'll perhaps we'll learn. I also, I guess, need to send a telegraph to Colonel Hughes and tell him, or ask him for an audience, saying that Francis Wilson is introducing us to him. And if I don't get a response from, Hughes, then I'll know that something's awry there.
Say that again. Tell me again what you're doing.
Sending a telegram to, was it Colonel Hughes or someone?
Yeah, Hugh Huntley.
Hugh Huntley. I need to send a telegram to Hugh Huntley to say that we're on our way, that Wilson sent us, and that we requested audience for, the day after tomorrow, given transit or something.
All right. So you send that like a day before you leave?
Yeah, after this meeting, because I need to know before we actually travel.
Okay, good. Yeah, so you send that telegram, and as noted in the telegram that you received, Hugh Huntley is of the British Foreign Office. So you send that to the British Foreign Office, care of Colonel Hugh Huntley, and so you did that the day before you were going to get on the train. So you sleep. It's now the day of the train ride, and as you guys are packing your bags to leave the King Hotel, you receive a telegram response from Colonel Hugh Huntley saying, looking forward to meeting you.
Mm-hmm. All right. Not a wild goose chase, and we have an official line of inquiry. So,
all right. So you guys gather at the Calcutta train station. The train is a single steam engine coal car, two boxcars for luggage and other things like cattle and stuff, large cattle, three third-class cars, which are just open, not open cars, but they're very simple. They've got one restroom and just, a single aisle down the middle with bench seating on either side. Third class. Then there's a dining car, and then there's one first/second class car at the tail end of the train, as far away from the soot as possible, because coal trains are notorious for all that. It looks like white smoke belching out, but it is filled with soot that will just utterly coat the train. And if you ride with your windows open, you will be coated in soot. And so the closer you are to the front, the filthier you get. The further away, the better. So the first class car is all the way at the back end of the train. So you guys are at the train station. Everyone can give me a spot hidden.
Oh, that's one last thing I'm good for.
61 is a regular success.
Nope.
54.
So you guys are kind of queuing up to get in. There's a massive throng of people who are just kind of pushing themselves into the third class cars. But there's a pretty good separation between those passengers over there and you guys getting into first and second class. You guys share a car, and there's actual stewards who are kind of checking tickets and getting you guys boarded on this car. For those who were with successful spot hiddens, as you kind of look forward to where those third class passengers are crowded to try and get on, you do see there's a cluster of 4 men in long dark robes, dark head coverings. They're tall men, and they just have just basically their eyes are visible when their hands are not out and doing stuff. And this cluster of 4 men in dark clothing, I don't know, they seem to be kind of looking y'all's way, and then the 4 of them board the third class car.
Would this strike me as, so I passed. Is there any religious practice I could think of that this would be normal for?
Give me an occult roll.
66 is no good.
Not that you're aware of. In fact, if anybody was successful with the spot hidden, now give me a power roll.
I had a hard.
A hard occult?
A hard spot hidden.
Okay.
35 is a regular power.
Okay.
I failed by 6 points.
Dr. Saladin. Yeah, you saw those 4 men in dark clothing, and they, I don't know, it seemed to you like they were looking your way more than necessary. And now you're a little paranoid that these people might be after you.
I'm hoping that I blend better than everybody in the crowd.
You do seem to blend better.
Zeno, you saw those men as well.
I did, and I didn't like the looks of them. Perhaps I'm getting paranoid, but how do people know where we are and what we're doing? And I'm very nervous about that. They were a little too tall to be Chocho, but
I'm sorry. Who did you see?
There were four men in dark robes. You could only see their eyes.
Problem is that everybody here
religious
dresses in
thing?
such outlandish costumes.
If we are really worried, Baxter, did you share the fact that you made that mirror with us?
I think I've only talked to Cuthbert about it because of our parallel. Yeah.
I say just make sure that you're ready. Make sure that you have your weapons ready if you need them, and keep an eye open.
You spotted something.
There may be people on this train that have been watching us.
It could also be nothing.
What does the rest of the first/second class train look like? Are there a lot of Europeans, or?
There are some Europeans and some wealthier English Indian families who are traveling.
These people were all in black, correct?
The 4 men were all in black.
Is there are there armed personnel keeping the rabble out of the first/second class car?
No.
Or a steward that looks stern, demands tickets?
Yes, there is a steward who is stationed on the first. There's 2 stewards who are stationed on the second class car.
But they're both for service and for security. There's not any kind of real.
I mean, they just look like
somebody.
Yeah, they just look like normal men. I mean, they don't look like bouncers.
Yeah,
if these are
they're wearing livery, and
you think they could
like
be
assassin?
I said if they were assassins, then the stewards on the ship on the train won't make any difference. They'll kill them and still come after us.
I mean, why would they be after us, and why here?
Because
how would they know we're here?
Somebody somewhere knows what we're up to. We've stepped on a lot of toes along the way.
But
I'm sorry. I could just.
Whose toes? I mean, do you think those things in Montana sent them? I mean, the people that were after us in the Andamans all died.
We were in the Andamans, and then we came back here. We didn't go immediately back to the States. And now we have people dressed in black coming to kill us. I don't know.
How long is this train ride supposed to be?
Day and a half.
Day and a half. Days, hours?
Day and a half.
A day and a half. Oh.
Roughly 36 hours. I've heard back from Huntley's office. He's expecting us. If we reach the point where the whatever external group this is has occupied the British telegraph system, then we have bigger troubles than 4 men on a train.
No, I don't. I mean, why would they go after us on a train? There's so many variables. There's so many people. So much could go wrong. Wouldn't it just be easier if they were sent by them to just ambush us once we get there?
It wasn't hard to get us when we arrived in the country. We had our luggage stolen by children.
They could sneak into our rooms at night.
I was about to ask, are we in sleeper cars? I was assuming that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is 2 rooms.
Is there a dining area in this car as well?
Not in this car. There's a dedicated dining lounge car. And it separates
between us and third?
Yep. It separates the 3 third-class cars. Then there's the dining car, and then there's the 1 first/second class car.
There are stewards in every car, and they won't let the third class passengers come up to our.
There's stewards for sure in the first class/second class car. There are for sure stewards in the dining lounge car. There are no stewards in the third class cars.
In our car, among the other people who are not employed but are passengers, I'm sorry. Are there like English military personnel looking types, or
Give me a luck roll.
oh, nope. I spent a lot of luck before to stay alive.
Nope, there are no soldiers, no British soldiers.
All I can say to you is if you need me in the middle of the night and you decide not to knock and sneak into my room, make sure you say something before you can hear me, because I'm going to jam this knife into anyone who I wake up and suddenly find leering over me.
I'm guessing that we're going to have to spend the night two in a pod, one over the other, in a sleeper in this part of the world.
Or to hang bells on my door.
And a door curtain, maybe. I mean,
we're in first class.
It's not like there's air conditioning, or it's. I mean, first class on the train. It's still
the doors open in, right? So we could put like a little
doors.
Door stops.
The doors are pocket doors.
Oh, dirty, rotten pocket doors.
Well,
sleep lightly, everyone.
So there aren't any obvious British soldiers. What do the other inhabitants of the upright part of this car look like?
There's a couple of British businessmen, and there are some Indian families who are traveling north.
All right. So I'd like to look for the elder male of a wealthy-looking Indian family.
Okay.
And ask him if I'm still learning that there are many languages and cultures here. And we saw a group of tall men who were dressed all in black with just the tiniest space for their eyes. What religious group is that?
Oh, yes. Oh, that is. Yes. You have a very keen eye. They are holy men. They are holy men. They must be on a pilgrimage. So, yes.
Is there a holy site by Darjeeling?
Well, they are most likely traveling to Dinajapur to pray there.
Fascinating. My friends and I
is going to be the one and only major stop for passenger on and off boarding before heading further north to Darjeeling.
Well, that'll be a pretty good test of that hypothesis.
Any other stops are just going to be water stops that'll take 15 minutes with no passenger movement during those times.
I'm going to schmooze with this fellow a bit. Hopefully he's not a banker, because that'll make my conversation difficult. To a point.
Sure.
Just get a sense of this group of people, because we're going to be with them for a day and a half.
All right.
Stuck my foot in it already.
So the
he didn't say there was a name of this. He just said that they were
they're holy men.
They're
on a
holy
pilgrimage.
types of some sort, but he didn't say they were Dravidians or something.
Yeah. Non-specific. Okay. So the train takes off. And the day and a half is rather uneventful. The four holy men do disembark when you get to Dinajapur. and as do many other passengers as well. Probably 60% of everyone disembarks in Dinajapur, making this just a skeleton crew of passengers carrying on northward to Darjeeling, and you arrive to Darjeeling. As you disembark, there is a British soldier standing out on the train platform with a small sign that says Mr. Dexter on it.
And Mr. Baxter.
Well, I'm Dexter to the public.
Ah.
Can I tell by his insignia what he is? Fellow. I don't know.
You can see that he's like a corporal or something equivalent in the British Army. So low level enlisted.
Good man. I'm Dexter. This is the party. Thanks for meeting us.
Oh yes, very good, sir. Very good. And so there's two more young men in uniform, and they come out and they said, "Oh, let us help you with your bags." And they start collecting up all y'all's bags and said, "Please come with us."
Thanks to you, and thanks to Colonel Huntley for the welcome.
Oh yes, sir. And they pile you into 3 jeeps and take off. Darjeeling is very much a frontier town. Other than the temple, the you can see there's a like a Buddhist temple in town. It's a 2-story building. Everything else is only a single story, and they drive through the town, avoiding animals and people, and eventually take you to a small compound, and that says British Foreign Office outside on the building. And they take you in, and you meet and shake hands with a Colonel Hugh Huntley. And he says, well, very good. I trust your trip was uneventful.
Yes, quite so. Reasonably comfortable.
Excellent.
We actually have arranged for a hotel. So I hope we haven't taken your men out of the way to come out here.
Well, I'm afraid that there won't be time for that. We need to push on as soon as we can.
Well, the telegram I received, perhaps after a bit of an intercontinental delay, did not indicate that we had an urgent matter. Let's have introductions, and then perhaps you could explain what is expected of us.
Well, my orders are to send you on to meet with Mr. Wilson.
Ah, I see. Professor Wilson has been in the field for some time, and
quite so. You will be meeting him. You'll be meeting him at Lhasa.
Does that mean anything to me?
Anyone may give me a idea roll, or no roll based on your education. A no roll.
41 is just shy of hard.
5.
Wow.
Yeah, I got an extreme as well.
Fantastic. Yes. So those who are in the know, you are aware that Lhasa is a capital of Tibet. And it is a few hundred miles away, over and beyond the Himalayas.
My God.
Tibet.
Tibet.
Why did we come here then? That's so far away.
Yes, well, that was not part of my information. Need to know, don't you know? And I don't need to know. So, let's go. Gather your things, and I'll get you on the road.
Your men have our things. There's no further briefing from Wilson than that we're to meet him in Lhasa.
Just that I'm to equip you and get you on the road to Lhasa.
And that road is over. There's a train line, obviously.
No. You will be the pack animal. You'll be traveling by pack animal and camping as you travel. There's an entire expedition ready to receive you and take you over the mountains.
Good Lord.
So you must have every faith in Wilson to supply us this way.
Yeah, well, he is part of the chain of command, so I do what I am told. All right.
Could have met us halfway.
So in Huntley's office, he equips each of you with papers in order to travel internationally into Tibet. He equips you with heavy furs in order to combat the cold. He equips you with camping gear in order to withstand the cold and make the trek. He then takes you into the armory and says the trip can be quite dangerous. So are you comfortable with a long arm or sidearm?
Long arm, please.
Yes. Well, very good. If you select long arm, he gives you basically a British version of what we would call a Lee Enfield 303. So go ahead, and if you want a rifle, you may add to your character sheet a 303 Lee Enfield. You will use your rifle skill, and the damage is 2d6 plus 4. It has a one shot only, so no multi-shot, and it can hold 10 rounds in the magazine. And the malfunction is a 100. And you are equipped with 3 magazines. So 1 in the weapon and 2 spare.
That sounds like we're going to need them. So
well, I already have
one of those too.
I already have my rifles.
Well, yeah. If you need a weapon, it's here now. If you want a sidearm, does anybody want a sidearm?
I'll take
a
it.
38.
I will have a sidearm because I lost my other sidearm. So.
All right. If you choose sidearm, they give you a Luger pistol,
9mm,
which inflicts D10 damage. And it will fire 1 or 3, up to 3 shots. So it does have like a multi-fire, short round burst. And it will hold 6 rounds. And its malfunction is also 100. So those are your choice of weapons.
So I'm keeping my 38, which is similar, but I'll take the Lee Enfield over whatever if I brought the shotgun even back, which I don't think made it.
Okay.
So
So
And some
everyone,
really,
and he
really nice
does request
mittens.
that you only take one. So either the long arm or the sidearm, your choice, but not both, please.
If I already have a long arm, I can still have a sidearm, right?
Absolutely.
Okay,
If
cool.
the long arm is already yours, go ahead and grab a sidearm.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I already have a sidearm, so I'll take a long arm.
There you go.
Yeah.
And I have a knife.
You seem well equipped.
And can we get some iron tablets for my friend Cuthbert? He's aged a lot while we traveled. I think it might be malaria.
Oh yes, I was led to believe that you were all of a spry lot. I didn't know you were bringing someone's grandpa.
Well, we're a hearty lot, but yeah, Cuthbert suffered a bit, and well, we've been
Through a lot.
through a bit.
Certainly. Here you go, Pops.
Thank you.
It's like a giant bottle of pure speed.
After you guys are fully equipped, he gets in one of the Jeeps with you, and the young men are driving again. And you guys end up driving. It feels like you're driving out of town. You're going even further north. The Himalayas loom ahead of you. Snow-capped Himalayas. You can feel the cold winds coming down off of them. And he drives you out of town, and you see basically what looks like a ranch. So you pull up to this ranch, and as you get out, you can see that this ranch has all kinds of like mules and alpacas and, all these, heavily furred animals. And there's a ton of Indian men and also, other men that you suspect may be Tibetan. And as you guys kind of like get into this party, there's like a group of 20 men and a ton of animals, and all of your gear is like strapped to these different animals. All of the new gear that you got is strapped. A lot of these animals have saddles, so you have your choice of either just walking or riding, but it takes a couple of hours to kind of get everything prepped and readied, and it's just flying for you guys. And finally, Colonel Huntley says, "Well, off you go. Safe travels. Give Mr. Wilson my best, and stay warm." And you guys begin just walking with these animals, walking with all these men. It's an entire caravan of an expedition of men as you guys are just being escorted north as you're walking into the Himalayas. And at that, we will draw this episode to a close.
Jiminy Christmas, how did we get ourselves into this shit? Our players included Josh Harwood, Morgan Llewellyn, Holly Buteau, Stuart Lively, David Gasway, and myself, with John Hook as the keeper of the secrets. We have a Discord server where you can chat with other members. You can set up private games and learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastering. We're currently producing up to 4 shows a week with music and sound effects added in post-production in order to create a richer listener experience. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Podbean or iTunes. The costs involved with the show are provided almost entirely by our patrons. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. If you'd like to help support our show, please visit our Patreon account. Just $1 to a month helps us a lot. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answering any questions you might have. This is Tom Rayleigh, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck, good gaming.